going to start here, though. I don't know if you have an ex in your life who you're not very fond of. Or maybe you have an old friend who crossed you in a way that you never thought possible. But there's a time-honored tradition of cutting their faces out of your favorite photos to help heal the wounds faster. And for some folks, that works. But leave it to Ashlee Buzzard in Lompoc, California, to take that coping strategy and twist it into knots. Ashlee is the mother of Melodee Buzzard, age 9, whose whereabouts and welfare have been a mystery for 41 days now. In that time, her mother, Ashlee, has stonewalled the police, had her home and her rental car and her storage unit raided by the feds, and has been charged with falsely imprisoning an acquaintance who tried to help search for Melodee. And I have an update on that case in just a minute. You won't believe how she showed up for court this morning. I'm going to give you all of those details. You saw a snippet. I'll give you the rest. But I'll bet that you remember seeing the videos that we showed you a few weeks ago. Bewildering video of Ashlee ripping down her daughter's missing persons posters in the front yard. Remember those? Those were staked out in the front of her house. She's ripping them down for reasons that nobody can fathom until possibly now. A private investigator hired by Melodee's aunt just dropped a bombshell. He says a person who was inside Ashlee's home saw her cutting Melodee's face out of those posters. You heard me right. What normal folks do to people they consider dead to them, Ashlee did to her own missing and endangered child. So does Ashlee Buzzard consider Melodee dead to her? Does she consider or know the child to be dead, period? The private investigator says not necessarily, and that is the weird and spooky part of this. Our Brian Enton has been on the streets of Lompoc, California, and spoke exclusively with that private investigator, and here's what he told Brian.
So the posters had photographs of Melodee. They didn't take up the entire poster, but they were snapshots that were projected onto the posters. So I understand that she had cut these photographs off of the poster.
So she cut Melodee out of the missing poster?
Out of several of the missing posters.
And why would she do that?
Not sure, but what she did with them is she placed them on a table in her home. To me, it represents an altar. Not saying that she's deceased, but it's something that she can have some memory of. And that's what I picked up from that.
You're going to hear more from that private investigator in just a moment. He was hired by the sister of Melodee's late father. But first, Ashlee had quite a court appearance this morning. And it's a good thing that we had cameras there because you wouldn't have believed it. It was very, very brief, but she appeared on that false imprisonment charge that she was slapped with 2 weeks ago. Her long and curly wig was back, but this time pulled into that ponytail. And also this time, Ashlee Buzzard came to court dolled up to the nines in full makeup. And when I say full, I mean brimming over. She had a ton of makeup on her face. I can't explain it because last time she had none. She was unrecognizable. Our Brian Enton was able to catch up with her as she left the courthouse. Here's the longer clip of what you just saw a snip of.
Ashlee, can you tell us where Melodee is? Why aren't you saying anything to law enforcement, Ashlee? Why have you just stayed quiet when your daughter's missing? It doesn't make any sense. Why did you cut her pictures out on the posters? Everyone just wants to know where Melodee is. Everybody just wants to know.
Can you guys back up away from the car, please?
Ashlee Buzzard's charge stemmed from an accusation that she threatened a friend of hers with a box cutter after she allegedly told him about Melodee's whereabouts and presumably regretted doing so. They are both set to be in court tomorrow for a preliminary hearing. So yeah, we're going to be there. And in the meantime, Brian Enton is live outside of Ashlee's house with all of his new reporting. First of all, Brian, great work in posing those questions to her, because you might be the very first person who has done so that at least we have been able to hear. Whether police have been stonewalled by her, it's all under wraps. But that was just amazing to see her doing the same thing to us that presumably she's been doing to the police. Let me ask you about the house tonight. Any action, any sign of her?
Yeah, and by the way, you heard the clanking in that video when I was asking her questions. Those were her little high heel boots. She was really dolled up today, like you said, very different than what we've seen her in the past. And she had the wig on before, but it was sort of pulled back. We're outside her house tonight in Lompoc, very, very dark. The signs are still out here. She's left these signs out front. Where is Melodee? We won't stop looking for her. So show us where she is. This apparently was up on this stick here, but it's been pushed down. We'll get a little closer to the house, though. It's dark. She's inside tonight, Ashlee. There was a FedEx delivery a couple of hours ago, and she came out and got the box, but she went back in. There's the light on outside, but it's totally pitch black inside. There have been no lights coming in from any of the windows, and she hasn't come out, and she still hasn't spoken to anyone, Ashlee.
I am getting Brian Laundrie vibes here. I remember when you were out in front of the Laundrie's home in Florida when Gabby Petito was missing, and it was the same thing. Dark windows, no activity, signs outside, and a lot of protesters. That was one thing that was very different. But I am curious, when you saw her, I know it was all very fast and you were busy interviewing, did you happen to notice whether she still had her ankle monitor on her leg? Because the other day when she was moving boxes, it was hard to tell, but we thought maybe it wasn't there.
It's a good question, and it was hard to tell. I didn't see it, although what she was wearing and these kind of boots, like heeled boots, I think it could have been covered. I didn't notice it. But it was a quick hearing, and it was interesting, too. She kind of had an entourage today, Ashlee. Last time we saw her, she was by herself, and she doesn't have a car. I mean, there's no car in the garage. She doesn't have a car, so she Ubers or she ride shares to these court hearings. So last time she showed up and she walked in alone. This time, I guess they were sort of prepared. She had a couple of police officers surrounding her. Her lawyer, her public defender, was also with her, walking with her when she went in. She was only in for maybe 5-10 minutes. It was a quick hearing. Tomorrow is really going to be the main hearing. And then she walked out. She went back to that ride share, came right back to the house, and she hasn't been out since.
So tell me about the actual court appearance itself. I know it was really brief, but tell me all the color from inside that proceeding.
Yeah, it was brief. They didn't allow video cameras this time, but the judge did allow still cameras, which is why you can see these still images, these photographs from inside of her. Again, she showed no emotion. She didn't speak once. We never heard her voice, not even once. And she just went in. She was with her lawyer. They were basically confirming that this preliminary hearing is going to happen tomorrow. And she looked at the judge, but really kind of stone cold, no emotion at all, really dolled up. I mean, really heavy on the blush. Ashlee, you could see just her cheeks were really, really red. She had a lot of makeup on, which we haven't seen before. And I think it was the same wig. She just sort of had it styled differently and pulled back. And so she didn't say a word. She was in very quick. She left. And the only time I noticed any kind of feeling from her is when I first said her name when she came out. I said Ashlee, and she looked over and we made eye contact just for a second, but then she just looked forward and went to the car.
So I'm going to ask you this next question, but I'm going to ask our control room to put that comparative photo of her in the court appearance last week and the court appearance this morning in full screen. I want to just be, I want the audience to be able to just see the stark difference between her court appearance. Now, granted, I will say this. On the right, she had been in jail. They arrested her at her home, and they brought her to the police station and processed her, and they locked her up in county for, I believe it was like 5 or 6 days at least. I think she was pulled in on a Friday or so, and she came out midweek. And so this would have been her on the right after several days in jail where they don't, have an ample supply of makeup or hair products. But that's a wig on the right, and it does look like it's the same wig on the left, Brian, but the amount of makeup that she has on makes her indeed just an entirely different person. And I put that on the screen, not for the prurience of looking at it. I put it on the screen for those who feel they may have seen that woman on the left somewhere in that cross-country trip that she made with Melodee, from which she returned without Melodee. Or have they seen the woman on the right? Have you seen either of these women? They're the same woman. But she has, obviously, she's a chameleon. It's just incredible to see that. And I want you to tell me, Brian, a little bit more about this private investigator who has inside knowledge of what was going on inside her home, snipping the faces of Melodee off of those missing posters. Walk me through that.
Yeah, this is really disturbing. This private investigator, his name is Bill Garcia. He has a long history, decades of work looking for missing children and a lot of success. And the paternal side, Melodee's, father's family, the aunt, actually recruited this man, Bill Garcia, to come in and help with the case. He spent a lot of time, by the way, Ashlee, out here surveilling the house, watching her movements, trying to talk to her. But he got information from someone who was inside the house, who he says told him that the missing Melodee posters were inside this house behind me, and that she had cut the faces and the border around Melodee's face out of the posters. So they were just like the shell of Melodee's face in the posters, and that she had moved those pictures over to another area where, as he described it, it almost seemed like a shrine, which he found to be very, very disturbing. He also, by the way, went on the road trip that Melodee went on. He retraced her steps. He went to Utah, where there have been these reports that Ashlee may have given Melodee to someone in Utah. And I asked him whether he really believes that story. Listen to what Bill Garcia told me, Ashlee.
My personal belief, after doing this over 30 years, I don't believe it. I don't believe she left Melodee. I think it's kind of a smokescreen to throw people off. I don't see her leaving her out anywhere with anyone, or leaving her out in the brush or in the woods. I see her bringing her all the way home if something happened to her. I think regardless if something happened, she would have brought her at least close to home.
So you think she could be back close to home?
I do. I absolutely do. I think Ashlee has done this before, and whether she was a courier for drugs or any other kind of item.
When you say done this before, what do you mean?
She's made these trips before. I'm certain of it.
You mean this strange trip to
the
Utah?
cross-country trips. I believe she's made the trips before, and I understand that she regularly would get a rental car, and we don't know where she went.
So, Ashlee, he says he discovered that she has rented the car before, and he is very, very confident that she has made that trip before on that route. And he believes that Melodee is not in Utah. He believes that Melodee is back in the Lompoc area. He actually wants to do searches in this area. It's been very heavy rain here for the last several days. It's nice tonight, but he wants to get out here and search. He believes Melodee's closer to home.
But I hope he means alive. Does he mean alive, closer to home?
Look, he's careful when he talks about that. He wants to be hopeful, but he also has plans to search in wooded areas, and there's lakes around here, those kinds of things. So he's not entirely hopeful, Ashlee.
Talk to me, Brian, about the tips that apparently that PI says he's been getting from truckers.
Yeah, so you talk about hopeful. I mean, tips have been coming into him from people who believe they may have seen Melodee alive. Among them are truckers, because that's a popular trucker route coming in from places like Nebraska, even from Iowa. He just got a tip this morning. Listen to what he told me about that.
And he says, I can't get that little girl out of my mind. I keep seeing her in the early morning of Friday, just 4 days ago, at this distribution facility with a truck driver.
Where?
In Lansing, Michigan. And she had that same gray-looking hoodie. And he said, I saw her face, and her face looked like Melodee.
So he's got tips coming in, Ashlee. He has been referring those to the FBI, who we know are investigating. And again, he was sitting out here for so long doing surveillance. It's just so bizarre. It's so quiet. It's so dark. I just want to show you again. I mean, there's posters that line the front sidewalk here with pictures of Melodee, a nicer photo than a photo from the surveillance at the rental car place. Where is Melodee? A poster here. There's candles over here that the neighbors left and little stuffed animals. I mean, it is such an awful vibe out here. And the fact that she just stays inside with all the lights off, it's got everybody in the neighborhood really upset.
Yeah, and clearly these don't seem to be posters that the mother is putting out in front asking for help finding the child. It is the neighborhood putting those posters up saying, just like the laundries, where, is Gabby? I remember the posters and the people demanding the laundries speak, and they just wouldn't. 10 seconds left here, Brian, tomorrow. What can we expect in court? I think we're hearing that the alleged victim, Tyler Brewer, the one who was allegedly held with the box cutter and not allowed to leave that house behind you. Is that what we're expecting to see tomorrow?
Yes. Quickly, tomorrow's going to be a big day. The preliminary hearing, we expect that victim may testify. Will something come up about Melodee? We don't know, but she's going to have to be there again tomorrow. So she's going to have to Uber there in the morning, probably put on all that makeup and the wig on again, and we'll see what tomorrow brings bright and early.
I mean, it's just confounding, everything about this woman and her behavior. Brian, excellent job. Thank you so much for bringing all that exclusive material. So appreciated. Keep an eye on things for tomorrow, too.
Thanks, Ash.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.